Hey everybody, welcome to the Hidden Artists Hangout. My name is Doug Delamucci and we're here to have an interesting show tonight. We've got a couple things on hand that I know you're going to enjoy. Mike, tell us about something.
You bet.
Well, first up, we have an interview with a really nice violin player from Phoenix, Tim Sadow. He plays so nice and has such great intonation and tone. He plays with a lot of people. And it was a pleasure to interview him. And he also recorded on some of music that I've been recording lately. So that was nice as well. What do you have, Jeff?
Well, we, of course, got the rock and roll news. We got the full lineup of rock and roll news today.
Yeah.
Also, we have an interview with our good friend, Mike Ellis, whose grandmother is a really good artist, and she has a lot of artwork she's produced over the years. So we're going to be talking with Mike and seeing out the artwork that his grandmother's produced.
All right, man.
And Doug, what I think you got, what else did you want to say?
Well, on with the show. Let's get this interview started, folks. This is Tim Sadow, man. Good friend. Mike,
great.
Take it away.
Good guy. So today, folks, we're here with Tim Sadow. He's a local Phoenix violinist and hidden artist and all-around good guy. Welcome to the show, Tim.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it, Michael. I didn't know that I was a hidden artist, though. I thought I was actually out there.
Well, you are. You're hidden beyond the boundaries of Arizona, so to speak.
Right.
But then again, maybe you're not. Maybe you're a giant star out there somewhere, and I didn't know that.
That's right. I'm a hidden giant star.
The hidden giant star, super nerd. So when did you start playing violin?
I began in 4th grade, and it's actually a little interesting story if you want to hear how it came about.
Sure. Yeah.
The music director at my school asked everybody to write down what instrument they wanted to play. I wanted to play saxophone. I don't remember why. Then she lined us up at the piano, and she would play notes on the piano, and you had to sing the note. And if you sang the notes in tune, they gave you a violin. So that's how it came about.
Well, I think it was a good choice because you have great intonation and your tone is wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So you play with a lot of guys or gals, a lot of musicians.
Yes.
How many acts are you kind of connected with, semi-regularly?
Probably around 6 now, something like that.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
And you teach out of your home, right?
I do. I teach both violin and viola.
How much of your teaching is on video as opposed to in person?
That's a very good question. Of course, when the pandemic started, I moved all of my students online, not knowing really how well it would work. But for most students, it works really well. Now, really not as many have come back to in-person lessons as I thought would happen. I have about 30 students, and maybe 6 come to the house, something like that. Yeah, so they've mostly remained online. And for most students, they pretty much know what they're doing, so it works. There's certain students that I prefer they come to my house so we can, have the hands-on kind of thing.
Yeah, right. And what are the age group of your students, just roughly?
Well, I'd say my youngest right now is 8 or 9. My oldest is, I forget how old he is, 72 or 73.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes, he actually lives in Hawaii too, so he definitely doesn't come to my house for lessons.
Yeah. That's cool. And of all the people that you play with, who are you playing most frequently with these days?
Ever since I started playing again after the pandemic started to wane a little bit, Blaine Long is the main act I play with. Is a fantastic singer-guitarist. He's my main man right now, and we just have a blast playing music together.
Yeah,
people can just see it when we're on stage together. We just really enjoy making music together. It's fun.
That's cool. Is that who you were playing with in Mexico recently?
Yes.
And how was that? How was that going to another country to play?
It's fun. Of course, when you go to Rocky Point, it's very much an Arizona destination. So most of the people down there are from our area or Tucson, but very much Arizona people down there.
Yeah.
It's always fun. It's really fun. There's usually people we know down there, but Blaine has been playing shows down there for so many years that the staff of the places we play all know him.
Yeah.
So it's just really cool. It's like our home away from home.
That's cool. I've never gone to Rocky Point. I'm originally from the Detroit area, and a few times I worked in Canada. So it's right across the river from Detroit, less than a mile from Detroit. But it was always a hassle taking the equipment through customs. We always had to devaluate it because we had to pay some sort of fee based on that. Is there anything like that happening when you go to Mexico?
No, nothing at all. I mean, usually when you cross into Mexico, they just wave you through. One time they had us pull over, and they could see that our car was full of equipment, but they said, "Do you have any guns or bullets?" So of course we said no, and then they just kind of looked around. They have soldiers, so it's very imposing. Soldiers with machine guns standing there, but usually they just wave you through and they don't ask anything.
Besides Blaine, who else do you enjoy playing with?
Well, I enjoy playing with everybody because music is just such a universally beautiful thing, and everybody I play with is very, very different. Yeah. So I've played for many, many years with Walt Richardson.
It was a friendly conversation over a friendly glass of wine. She was talking about her life and asking me about mine.
And Hannes Kavarin. I don't get to play shows with them too often anymore, but when I do, it's just a great thing. I also currently have a collaboration with Tom Moore. Tom is a keyboard player, and we do meditative kind of new age music together. It's totally instrumental. And actually, our new CD was just released today.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, it's called Going Home. Yeah, playing music with Tom, it's completely improvisational on my part. So like last week, we had shows 3 days in a row. We did some of the same pieces on each day, but they were completely different because I never played the same things. It's whatever emotions come out into my violin.
So what kind of places do you play when you're doing the new age thing?
Well, Tom and I don't actually perform out all that often. It's much more of a recording project. This is now our third CD together. But last week we did back-to-back days at the Mayo Clinic and Mayo Hospital, which are just really feel-good shows. I've always enjoyed doing those shows. And then the third day we played out at Taliesin West, which is a Frank Lloyd Wright house. And that it's just a beautiful setting for our music out there.
Yeah.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we play there. It's an event called Sunset and Sips. People come out and they have wine and they have all these tables and chairs set up so you can watch the sunset over the desert. One couple came up to us when we were done and they said, we were watching the sunset and listening to your music, and it was like the desert was speaking to us.
Wow, that's nice.
Yes, it's just a perfect setting for our kind of music.
Yeah. Now, I was talking with Kevin Mock recently, and we were talking about you and your violin playing and stuff. And he said that sometimes you can go totally like crazy off like a Hendrix thing, where you violin through some effects. And is that true?
It is true. I play through a Boss multi-effects pedal, and which is made for guitar. Yeah. So you have to go in and tweak the effects to work on a violin, because the attack of a violin is very different than the attack of a guitar.
Yeah.
But yes, what Kevin is really talking about is back when we were in a great Irish rock band called the Brazen Heads. I was in that band for 10 years. Wow. And we had a bit called Timmy Hendrix, and I could make my violin sound like an electric guitar with distortion. And I would just learn all these tidbits of famous guitar rock songs, whether it was Hendrix or Led Zeppelin or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just did this medley of all these different things. And the band would join in. No matter what I did, they would kick in with me. And people in the crowd would love it because it was like name that tune.
Yeah. Something nobody, you don't see that every day, a violin player playing through a distortion pedal. It's not your average violin thing.
Yes, I do try to be different.
Yeah, that's cool. So going forward, you're just continuing with your lessons, continuing with live shows as they come, and just living the Arizona dream, right?
That is true. Yes. It's funny because as you get older, you have friends who retire because they had normal jobs.
Right.
And us as musicians, I have no plans to ever retire. Right? As long as we're physically able to perform and able to teach and do everything related to music.
Yeah, you're still in the game.
Why retire? Yeah.
Yeah. I want to, thank you again for taking the time to, join us on the Hidden Artists Hangout show. It's guys like you that really make it for me. Guys that are talented as you and can cross over to so many different styles and stuff. It's really a pleasure to to make your acquaintance.
Well, thank you, Michael. I really appreciate you choosing me to be on your show. It was a nice surprise.
Yeah. And I love the stuff that you did with Kevin and I. That sounds so cool to me. When I listen, I listen to it all the time because I think it sounds cool. That's cool. Well, I'm going to say, continue what you're doing because you're doing a great job, man.
Thank you, Michael.
And thanks again for joining us.
And of course, you can always visit my website, timsato.com, and I have my calendar there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Tim. I'm going to sign off now, and hopefully you'll get out to see you soon, and hopefully we can get together and do some more music.
I would love that, Michael. I really enjoyed that music that you and Kevin were putting out. It's great. I would love to do more. Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
You have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's the Rockstar News.
All right. Here we are with another edition of Rockstar News. Welcome, folks. I wanted to mention real quickly that in 1997, Elton John's Candle in the Wind,
Yeah.
now recognized as the best-selling single worldwide in recording history. Isn't that amazing?
More than Yesterday, or
Guess.
Hound
White
Dog.
Christmas.
Or the Eagles, they had the best-selling album in the 20th century. At any rate, the album was produced by George Martin, and it was his 30th UK #1 single.
That guy is.
That guy keeps going and going and going. Yeah. Of course, he's passed away now, but he
did go. Yeah, he went.
Actually, his son kind of picked up the torch.
Yeah.
And is picking up where his dad left off.
Giles.
Yeah, he redid some Beatles stuff. Redid a whole bunch of Beatles stuff, man.
Bunch of Beatles stuff, which is great. So, first segment that we're going to be talking about here is the most unusual guitars. Now, most people play the standard solid or hollow body versions with little or no creativity. But the examples that we have here today will take that meaning to the next level. Our first example is the foot guitar. You see here? Here we have a 5-toed version. This also comes in a 6 and 8-toed model. It's much easier to play a walking bass line with this model like this.
Oh, I can walk all over that baby.
Funny there, yeah, okay. Yeah. Now, you've all heard about 12-string guitars, but have you ever seen or played a 12-neck guitar?
Wow, no,
I
have never. I wouldn't want to pick that baby up, baby.
No, me neither. I never heard of one. I'd hate to have to tune this thing. And which one do you play? I mean, which neck do you play? It's very confusing.
Yeah.
Isn't that from the Cheap Trick band? I've seen a picture of one of those guys from Cheap Trick, and he had like multiple necks. Not
really.
Yeah.
Okay, and then here's a double neck cutting edge guitar. You got to be careful with this one, and when taking it out of the case, it's shaped like scissors. It has 2 necks and it's scissors, so it's probably very sharp and
cutting.
You got to be careful.
I heard a guy cut his hand off playing that guitar last week. It's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, he switched over to keyboard after that. Just.
I think he did. Yeah.
Or maybe the foot guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, you could go to the foot guitar. You're right. There you go. And next we have what makers call a guitar jack. Not only can you play some killer riffs on this one, but you can also use it to jack up your car when you get a flat tire. So it's like
now that's what I need, right?
Dual purpose.
I'm buying that for next Christmas, man.
Two purposes. Well, Doug, you ruined it because I already bought it for you, man. Doggone it.
Oh man, jeez.
Okay, if you're into reptiles, you might fancy this snake guitar. You could play some biting riffs on this one. Ooh.
Metal guys.
Yeah, the heavy metal guys would love that, I'm sure. Now, if you ever played a gig in a seedy or sketchy neighborhood, you might have thought to yourself, taking along some protection. Well, the gun guitar allows you to play and protect yourself at the same time. The trigger also acts as a wah-wah bar, too. But if you do it like it's a wah-wah, so...
Oh, man. So you got to be careful.
Yeah, you do.
Got to be careful where you're pointing that thing.
Yeah, I once, winged my producer.
Yeah.
It happens. Easy.
Take out a lead singer.
You know,
Yeah.
you want to do that.
Yeah, the lead singer, I wanted to take his place, so I just,
One way to do it.
yeah, I didn't mean to do it, but... Okay, and then there's the harp guitar. It lets you play some pretty sweet leads and backup at the same time. It's good for playing those Renaissance fairs that everyone is so fond of.
Oh,
It's a harp and a guitar at the same time.
Yeah, actually, I like them.
Okay, last but not least, this is my favorite guitar, the Moose Antler guitar. Played here by its maker, Old Jeremiah, has the Moose plugged into his car, Bluetooth, and CD speakers. Rock on, Jeremiah.
Man, he is one dude, man. Cool dude. Cool dude.
That's a great guitar. Okay, now getting on to our next segment. George Harrison claimed the Beatles couldn't do anything creative without people hassling them. Now, I'm not quite sure what that means, but...
Couldn't do anything creative. Well, you do need that anger coming at you, criticism, and then you go, oh, wow, that makes a good idea.
Yeah, could very well be, yeah.
I don't understand it either.
It says the press and fans were always trying to figure out the group's creative process. Meanwhile, the record companies and executives were always trying to change things. Why do you want to change something that's successful? I don't know.
I don't know, George. George has some good questions. I don't know if that's one of them.
I think he's got, some pot or whatever. With how popular the Beatles were, all eyes were constantly on them. Yeah, that's true. Everyone, the press, fans, and even fellow musicians wanted to know their secret to success.
How do you write those great songs?
Yeah.
George, tell us.
And George says, and we're not trying to do anything. This is the big joke. It's all a cosmic joke. Everyone gets our records and says, wonder how they thought of that, or wonder what they're planning next. But we don't plan anything. We don't do anything. All we do is just keep on being ourselves. It just comes out. It's the Beatles. All any of us are trying to do now is get as much peace and love as possible. Whatever I say can be taken in a million different ways depending on how screwed up the reader is.
Yeah.
The Beatles were built up to be this mythical, bigger
Giant.
than life. They could never live up to the perception.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But if you live through those years, they were bigger than life.
They were.
If you live through those years. For all the Generation X or Z or whatever they're called today, or the millennials, they didn't live through the Beatles as much as the boomers did.
Yeah, as much as we did. Right. The Beatles is just a hobby, really, said George. It's just doing it on its own. We don't even have to think about it. The songs write themselves. It just all works out.
His whole point was just that it comes natural to them. What can I say?
Yeah, that's true. Everything is relative to everything else, said George. We know that now, so we've got to point to where when people say there's nothing else you can do. We know that's only from where they are. They look up and think we can't do it anymore. But when you're on top, there you see you haven't even started. Circle of life, man. Circle.
There you go.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Circle of life. Right. You get to the top. You haven't even really started. He got that from Rahul Mishri. He got that from Rahul Mishri when he went over to India and played that, that guitar, not one of just 12 guitars, but that Bing guitar. And That makes sense. When you get to the top, you haven't even started yet.
More have been that song. When you get to the bottom, I go back to the top of the slide, and it takes an eternity.
Oh, I know.
Okay. Okay, our last bit of news here is, have you ever heard The Crown? It's a death metal band from Sweden.
Haven't heard them.
I listened to one of their songs just before I logged on here with you guys, and
The Crown.
yeah, it's death metal, man. It is death metal.
So you really can't understand what they're saying, and
No, you can't. And they love the power chords.
yeah, and the masks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Very in the yeah.
Anyway, they've parted ways with their drummer Hendrik Axelsson, and Hendrik had been with the band since 2016, and he's being replaced by Michael Norrisons. So hold on here. Okay. Hi, Carl. Yeah, we're right in the middle of it. I'm recording. Yeah, Rockstar News. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Okay. You're gonna get a raise, but I have to talk to Doug about how much. All right. Okay. Bye.
I don't think we should give. He's bugging you about a raise again. No,
Yeah,
man.
that's the third time he's called me this week about that.
Tell him to take that raise and
be nice. Now, the group shared the news with the following social media post. Sometimes things come to an end. We have decided to part ways with Hendrik. He has been a kick-ass drummer and a solid Viking punk in this band for 7 years. We part on mutual good terms and would like to thank him and wish him all the best for his future.
Yeah.
The new drummer is called Mikael Noren. Mikael has been an old friend of theirs for years, who also played in Impetuous with Robin. I guess Robin is a part of The Crown, and Impetuous is another drummer, so I'm not quite sure. But we believe that we'll make a hell of a team for 2023, and we can't wait to see all of you. The Crown never dies. Yeah.
see you later, folks. All right,
Rockstar News.
Man, a rock star. You listen to that long enough, you will become a rock star.
Yeah, you're right. You can never get enough of that Beatle news, man.
Yeah, what's with this Beatles stuff? Who are these guys? Beatles. What kind of name is that?
Yeah.
Who names a band Beatles?
Yeah, what's the Beatles, right? Cockroaches. So next up is we have an interview with a friend of ours who went to Don Darrow, just like all of us, and most
Don
of
Darrow, Royal Oak, Michigan, in Royal Oak,
Michigan, Don Darrow High School.
Mm-hmm.
Most of our viewers are from Royal Oak. So his grandmother is a great artist, and we're going to feature her artwork in the next segment. And I do an interview with Mike, so he gives us a lot of insight into his grandmother's art. So let's get going with that. And here it is, Mike Ellis.
Yeah.
Hello, viewers. Today we're here featuring the artwork of Catherine Bell Ellis. She's the grandmother of Mike Ellis, a fellow resident of Royal Oak, who, like the Hidden Artists Hangout co-host that I co-host the show with, graduated from Don Darrow High School. So, Mike, can you tell us, is there anyone else that's artistic in your family?
Yes, my grandmother had 4 daughters and 1 son, the son being my father. The 4 daughters all were good with their artwork. Ethel especially was great in doing oils. The third born daughter, Virginia, her son, Rob Scott, was an excellent artist, and that's what he majored in college.
And she was born in Michigan, like you?
She was born in New Haven, Michigan. The family came to Michigan in around 1820 and were in Macomb, northwest part of Macomb Township.
Mm-hmm.
But she was born in New Haven.
Did Catherine have any formal artistic training at all?
As a painter, I don't know. I know she took an interest when the family was living in Sault Ste. Marie, and she was around 13 years old.
Wow.
And there was an art teacher that she took an interest in what she was doing. Subsequent to that, I really have no idea what training she may have had. She was involved in artist clubs, so she learned things there also.
Right.
But long before she was in the different clubs, she was doing some pretty advanced artwork.
Yeah, you had mentioned, I think, that she was in the Palette and Brush Club in Detroit. Is that true?
Of Detroit, yes. And I remember she passed away in 1969 when I was 20 years old. And I remember her when I was in high school and maybe younger, being picked up maybe once a month to go attend meetings and do whatever the club did.
Now, I understand too that she was employed as and I'm not going to try to pronounce the word, but I think you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I certainly do. Yes, she had her formal training as an elocutionist was with the Detroit Training School of and English Literature at Chaffee Hall.
And what is that?
Elocution is dramatic readings, and she ultimately joined what was called the Nellie Peck Sanders Company. And there's a lot of information on that on the internet if you look it up on Google. And she traveled around the United States putting on programs, eastern half, kind of east of the Mississippi. And fortunately, I have a number of the old broadsides announcing the program going on in the family collection of historic documents.
Wow. You would recite poems or plays or something of the sort?
It could be any of those. I've never attended something that was elocutionist to see exactly how it comes out, but I think it's theatrical.
She painted a mural on the wall in the dining room where you lived. Is that true?
Yes, she did. That was one I hated to have my parents' house sold because I knew the day it sold was the last day we would ever see it in person again. It's the length of the room, so it's probably at least 10 foot long and 3.5, 4 foot high. And it's a country scene of an old grist mill. It was done, I'm guessing, in now probably 1956.
I noticed one of the paintings that you have is of a dog looking up to the sky. Is that a family pet at all? Do you know?
No, it was not. What would happen is my grandmother would ask us boys what type dog we might like a painting of or other things. And for birthday or Christmas gifts, she'd prepare those. Myself, I wanted a German Shepherd, and I remember I had one of those paintings given to me. Don't have any idea what's happened to it since. It's probably around someplace if I was to unpack everything.
Two of my favorite paintings that you sent me was of the cobbler and the fiddler. Do you have any history of that at all?
I do. The fiddler is an old painting that was on a shirt cardboard. At the time, she could not afford canvases, so I'm presuming it's sometime following the Great Depression. But on the back of it, talking to my brother this morning, he has that one on his wall at home. They have a little shopping list that was written down on the other side of it. So the cardboard got multiple uses. Not only was the shopping list there on one side, but you have this great fiddler painting on the other, which I really love it. The cobbler, she did different variations of the same one. That's one of the paintings I have. My cousin in Washington State has a different variation, and I have two cousins live in North Carolina near Charlotte, and they both have different versions of it also, which is kind of interesting that she did that.
Sure.
One thing just did come to mind. Since we're both from Royal Oak, and you remember that some of the names of the different schools, Longfellow School, which used to be on 11 Mile close to Woodward. She was the first PTA president there. And she did a painting that used to hang until the school was demolished in the school library. I
Wow.
have no idea what it looked like other than one of my cousins who attended Longfellow School told me about it, and I thought that was pretty neat.
That is pretty cool. You're absolutely right. She led an active life. My gosh, PTA president and artist, electricianist.
She was an interesting lady. Loved her dearly, and sorry that I didn't have more time with her.
She worked primarily in oils, correct?
Primarily oils, but I understand that she also at one time did a few paintings with watercolors. She did some chalk artwork, which I understand is a very tough media to work in, and she did some acrylics.
And she also painted china as well.
Oh, yes, she did. And there was a lot of flower pictures on the china or fruit pictures on it. And she did it for a lot of family members. My cousin has a nice collection of it. My brother John has a large collection of it, which I think is very neat. And each of her daughter's families and my parents obviously had pieces of china that she had painted.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty intricate artwork too as well.
Yes, it was. On my Facebook page from back in September, I believe, I have a picture of my grandparents where my grandmother's sitting in an Adirondack chair, and you can see the paint on or design on the one side of it. Under Mike Ellis, if someone looks at it and goes to it, they'll find it. You'll also find on the same Facebook page some photos of her group, elocution group that traveled, and some of the broadsides from it.
And what is broadside?
Those are posters, like sheets of paper announcing the show that was going to be performed or what the dramatic reading was about, etc.
I see. Right. Right. Fantastic. What an unusual person. Well, Mike, thank you once again for giving us some insight into your grandmother. And we're going to now go to the slideshow, and all the viewers can see what a great artist she was. So once again, thank you, Michael. This show is probably going to be posted this coming Friday, which is going to be what? The second, third, fourth, the sixth, about the 6th, January 6th, 2023. Oh my gosh, time's going by.
I know. I look forward to seeing it. Thanks, Jeff.
All right. Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah. Bye-bye.
This is some of the things that Grandma has painted.
redhead, mess bed, tear shed, cream beam and squeeze. The stage smells, tells, hells, bells, misspells, knocks me on my knees. It didn't hurt, flirt, blood, squirt, stuff, shirt like me on a tree. After I count down 3 rounds in hell, I'll be in good company. Down low, couldn't go no further. Proud of and disgusted by her. Push on, little bruised and battered. Oh Lord, I ain't coming home with you. My life's a bit more colder. Dead wife is what I told her. Brass knife sinks to my shoulder. Oh babe, don't know what I'm gonna do. I see my redhead, mess bed, tear shed, cream beam and squeeze. The stage smells, tells, hells, bells, misspells, knocks me on my knees. It didn't hurt, flirt, blood, squirt, stuffed shirt like me on a tree. After I count down 3 rounds in hell, I'll be in good company. In hell, I'll be in good company. In hell, I'll be in good company.
All right.
Yeah, great
Dead
song.
South. I love that, man. That
Yeah.
guy rocks. The whole band, man. Just
Yeah,
on that song, 2 instruments, man. That was great.
It really is a unique group, isn't it, though? I love the finger clicking. At any rate, it's the end of the show, and, you know, it's sadly the end of the show.
Yeah. Another end of another show.
Yeah.
Now, people have been writing in and wondering where Jim was.
Yeah, I am
You know,
too.
because he's a member of our group.
Yes.
I do want to say he had a lot of stuff going on in the December, end of December, like everybody does. I mean, you know, he had to put up his tree, then he had to take it down after Christmas was over.
He had to go gas up the car.
But there is a little clip that he told me not to tell you guys.
Oh.
But here's a little clip of where Jim's at.
Okay, cool.
Well, hello, hidden artists and friends. Open the guitar case and let her rip. But just to finish that subject up, and although it's something done just about everywhere, I'm going to turn it over to Doug.
Oh, poor Jim.
Yeah.
That guy never amazes me more than that Jim. He's great job.
Last show he was Santa Claus. Now this year he's the FBI got him, man. You know.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
detained.
But he'll be back the next show, as we will too, folks.
Right.
Hang in there. Look at
Happy
our
New Year.
website. What did you
Huh?
say? Happy New Year?
I said it is a new year, so happy new year.
Happy New
And,
Year to you all. And huh?
There's the music.
Oh man, it came so quick.
I know it did.
That play, you know, I did read a note that the piano player had to leave early today.
Oh.
So he wanted to cut the show a little earlier. He had to, there was Band-Aids on sale down
Well,
at
I think he's got
Starbucks.
I think he's got another gig. He's not telling us.
Oh, man, I'll tell you. But hey, look at our website. watch our shows, just enjoy our shows. We'll be back. We'll be back for more coming up. Just wait. Just wait. I'm waiting. You guys wait.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Come on, guys.
See you guys.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Doug and Jeff Show. Listen, we have a new segment on the show tonight we're premiering. It's called Survivor Guide, where Doug has been chosen to go to remote places all over the world. He's going to live there for a while, and we're going to film every stage of the expedition. In fact, Michael, our field reporter, is flying Doug to his first location right now. It's Samba, North Africa. Ooh. It's so remote that no one's ever been... Well, if no one's ever been there, how do we know? Oh, Michael? Michael, can you hear me? Michael, come in. What's that? Yes, Jeff, I hear you. Go ahead. Hey, Michael, you must have gotten your pilot's license.
No, I didn't get my license yet. I don't think you have to get a license when you own a plane.
What? Well, how's it going? Are you almost there?
I think we're over New Jersey now. I can tell by all the bowling alleys.
What?
Yeah, Jeff, I think you should talk to Doug. He's in the back. It's really rough up here.
Michael, what are you doing up there? Don't turn so fast.
Hey, Doug, or Survivor Guy, it looks like you're hitting some turbulence up there. Are you excited about your first expedition?
Michael, steady. I'm gonna fall overboard. I don't have my parachute on yet, Michael.
Hey, Doug!
Doug, or Survivor Guy, are you okay?
I'm a OG boy. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my G boy. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my OG boy. Day we hustle, but the night we OG boy. Know that they ride or die. I'm a OG